civil war intervention. Support PSA. Support USA. Support a US. Neutrality. Okay, so this is a poll. This will, as is in the best traditions of this channel, count subscriber votes for double. So if you wish your vote to count for double over everybody else, then be sure to be a subscriber before you vote. The vote, if you are on PC or anything else with the full chat window, will be on top. If you're on mobile, it will be somewhere. I honestly don't know how it works on mobile. But the vote should still appear for you guys on mobile. You don't need to do the /vote thing anymore. So long as you're on the latest version. So here is the vote. So get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. Forgetting the bonus option, bring the colonies into line. You know what? That's not wrong. We'll add that as a 5th choice. American civil... Damn it. War intervention. Support PSA. Support USA. Support AUS. Strict neutrality. Or restore the colonies. Right, votes up. Occupying all of the US, the new resistance sounds like a big oof. It would be hard. There is no doubt about that. My own preference would not be to go that direction. It would be supporting the PSA, probably. Yeah, I kind of knew that would happen. And also, if we go after the colonies, we're not going after Britain. I don't think we can do both. So you'll see less of the focuses. Go Britain first, then the colonies. He'll be way too late in the game by then. Because I really don't want to play this beyond like 1947. A, the game gets too slow. B, tech's gone. It gets boring. Huzzah! Why did that not appear? Karen, thank you very much for the 3-month resubscription. Very much appreciate the ongoing support. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to the one other person who voted for the American South. Well, nobody voted neutrality. So there is that. Something strange, the vote already appeared, but you are still typing it. Looks like the stream's delayed. It's usually delayed by about 6 seconds. It shouldn't be that long, though. If you declare on the CSA, what happens when they capitulate but the rest of the factions are still alive? I don't know. It's a good question. Alright, so, vote is in. So we have strict neutrality, which is incredibly rarely come in with 0% of the vote. I think that's actually more rare than a vote going over 70%, which is kind of crazy. Supporting the AUS came in with a 4th place with 3%. Supporting the USA with 6%. Supporting the PSA with 35%, and then restoring the colonies with 56%. I mean, I need to see if that's even possible, because I'm not sure. That's more of a vanilla thing. Yeah, I'm going to show my authoritarian roots here and overrule it. We are going to go PSA. I do want to do, in the future, a vanilla game with the UK where we do go after the US. and basically get Queen Simpson in place. There seems to be a lot more scope for that in vanilla than there is in this. So, your interests are noted, just not in this game. Classic politician promising something in a vote before you knew if it was possible. Alright, so, yeah, decision made. So we're going to be supporting the PSA. I do want to send volunteers, if I can. I'm pretty sure I can. I can. We can send a single volunteer. I'm thinking we probably want to send a tank, although our tanks aren't actually going to be that good. So that's an issue. I mean, it's still a tank. A tank is a tank is a tank. 4 armor. What's my base infantry piercing out of interest? 4. 4.4. 4.1. What's a militia's piercing? 0. Why do you have piercing at all? The artillery? Yeah, it must be the artillery. Which America is unlikely to have much of. So we probably still want to do this. And what we can do is build them out as the war goes on. Fighting the Rockies for the first few pushes, though. Yeah, not wrong. I mean, PSA does tend to make pretty quick progress. I mean, if we have tanks, tanks aren't actually that bad in the mountains. They take attrition, sure. But as we're not in a proper war, we can afford to replace.
Ready. Ready to move.
So we're going to send this one unit as a volunteer. Oh, they refused. Probably because they're pissed about New England, but fine. I'll send you a Lend-Lease in that case, because I do still want to keep you alive. I will send you 40% of my production. Except for the motorized. And I am now going to take the decision to begin an agency. So what should we call the Canadian Special Forces? Oh, sorry. Canadian Intelligence Agency. The council elected, but because it was a stupid decision, I elected to ignore it. There you go. Nekomansa, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Maple Leaf, RCMP Special Branch. CIA. The Canadian Intelligence Agency. The Moose Syrup. MI6. Alpha Legion. Hidden Leaf. Politeness Police. Sorry for spying. King's Own, Devil's Brigade. Special Operations Executive. That's the British one. Curious George. We're not George though, we're Edward. Otherwise that would be a good one. Hello there, neighbour. Starbucks Services. Starbucks is American though, it's not Canadian. It would need to be something like Five Guys? Is that the Canadian one? No, it's there's a Tim Hortons. It would need to be Tim Hortons. Stealthy Beavers, Maple Leaf. Poutine Police. Yeah, but we're kind of resist. Oh, is Poutine Quebecois or is it Canadian? Yeah, I'm going to go with sorry for spying. That was a very good one. And sure, that looks like a cool badge, actually. Alright, agency's being formed, then we can spy. And the ironic thing is, I'm probably going to spy on the PSA just to see how they're doing. Qing took 3 states, Zhongzi was annexed. Zhongzi have been capitulated. Oh, there is resistance. You are going to have big manpower issues. I can't... I want to offer them support. And yeah, we should probably start actually training some proper troops. Oh, I see. You have multiple different infantry templates. That one is garbage. I'm just going to remove it. Although if I ever get heavy tanks, I probably shouldn't have done that. Never mind. That's artillery and infantry. That's engineers with actual inline infantry. I think I actually want you to be this template. See you, Marshal. Did we seize New England? Yep. And we also got Alaska. We got both. And Panama. Like, we've really benefited from this Civil War so far. It's very much been in our favour. So the RCMP Brigade, I kind of want to turn you into fellow motorised. Which is these guys. Haha, okay, that's kind of expensive. These guys, are they? Which division are they? Experimental motor. Oh, we don't actually have any armoured brigades. Oh, these are just motorised. Okay. Well, can we upgrade the RCMP to motorised? Hey, Charlotte. How long's this stream been going on for? 3.5 hours. So, manpower we have, infantry equipment easily. 600 motorised, we only have 92 available. So we're going to need to make more motorised. And also a lot more light tanks, so no, we can't afford that. Okay. Yeah, I think it makes the most sense to go for infantry. It's just a question of which type. I was not intending to get line infantry, line artillery. So I think I might actually get these guys, switch you to this, and then start training some more of these. And what symbol do I want to give them? Need to give you the subscriber division name as well. As soon as I can find it in this stupid list. There it is. Alright, let's train a couple of these until we're basically out of equipment. So it's going to be those 6. That's fine, we can begin. Democracy prevails in the Philippines. Having just achieved independence from the United States, the Philippines face today perhaps one of the most serious challenges any new country could face. Been playing as Canada this whole time, it's only 37. I hadn't noticed that. This has not been a glacial playthrough at all. It's been the very example of quick play. Construction 2, done. Hunan Clique has joined the United Provinces of China, so the Chinese factions are beginning to consolidate. Guangzhou federal government proclaimed. With the power base secured around the prosperous city of The Federalist movement in China has proclaimed their own rival government. Chen Zhongming, Governor-General of Luoyang and the commander of the National Defense Army, declares his intention to bring together disparate provincial governments throughout the country. Quebec Premier replaced. Throughout Quebec, English-speaking Canadians have been quietly replacing Quebecois in important provincial positions, culminating in a new provincial election that resulted in the defeat of Maurice Duplessis and the election of Adelaide Godbout, the leader of the Quebec Liberals and much more amenable to working with the federal government. There have been charges that the federal government went out of its way to quietly promote Godbout and suppress the French-speaking Canadians from participating in the vote, but so far these charges have not been proven and are actively being ignored. So again we lose some social conservatism, but we are still pretty overwhelmingly in power, so that's good. We cannot however do this. We do not have the Quebec in Flames national spirit. How do we get rid of that? Oh, probably by continuing to work our way through the suppression. Yeah, okay. Now, the suppressions, do they actually remove? Negative state modifiers will be reduced in Quebec. Doesn't completely get rid of them, though. But okay. We also have technology, which might be artillery? No, armoured cars. We want to start researching armoured cars for sure. I wonder if that Godbout is related to Jacques Godbout, a Quebecois author I have to study for university. Quite possibly. Mark Leake declared war on Tibet. Okay. Right. Well, now this is opened up a little bit. New England question. I think we want to work on New England, actually. Yeah, for sure. We responded to the request for intervention in New England, but now the question that faces Parliament is, what do we do with the land that we're now occupying? Mongolia declared war on Ma. The Peru-Bolivian Confederation has been restored. It appears that an old idea has been reborn in South America. The original confederation between Peru and Bolivia, viewed by many of its regional enemies as a potential threat, was torn asunder in a victorious Chile after the Battle of Yungay in 1839. Still, this new confederation could, much unlike its predecessor, prove able to sustain itself in these unstable times in South America and the wider world. Anqing took 7 states, left Kuomintang have been capitulated. Sichuan declared war on Tibet. Anqing is really dominating over there. They've basically become the new League of 8 provinces. Trade with America. The Dominion of Canada relies a great deal on the trade routes that go into the United States. While the Civil War has benefited us in some ways, namely that the orders for Canadian goods from abroad have increased as American sources become unreliable, the fact is that many of our exports have always gone to America itself. With our biggest customer now an unreliable destination, our economy is left reeling and attempting to figure out what to do until the Civil War has ended. Ouch, yeah, that does hurt. Quite badly. Concentrated industry 2, done. That's all of these. We could go for excavation, but I think we want to wait for that until we can actually get the excavation technology. I think it makes sense to get the artillery upgrade. Seeing as we are using artillery in a support position. Radio, we get that one for free. With one of the technologies. The first Syndicalist Internationale held in Paris dealt with the spreading of the ideology overseas, supporting Syndicalist movements and strengthening the ties between existing Syndicalist nations. And thanks to the gathering success, the Second Internationale has been called to be held in London. We could do a royal visit. No, I think we'll do a royal visit to one of these guys. Let's say India, because I really do want to build India up if we can. the Indian Civil War is going to be way more important to us than even the American one. Okay, spying, done. So in 30 days' time, we will gain another person. Refugees flood into upstate New York. With the situation in America worsening, it's no surprise that the Dominion of Canada has become the top destination for those fleeing the violence. Many of the immigrants are legal, but an increasingly large number are not. Already, there are several refugee camps in upstate New York, many of them coming from Pennsylvania, and their numbers are putting a strain on their supplies. Observers comment that the situation is likely to get worse before it gets any better. American refugees? Oh, the irony. Now that we have intervened in New England, a number of Canadian ministers have met with leaders of those states regarding how best to keep order. The states have suggested setting up a provisional government for the region, one that would, at least initially, be under our control and brought into the Entente Alliance. Some members of the government, however, have already suggested it would be better if we simply occupied and administered the territory ourselves. Americans, they say, can sometimes be of suspect loyalty, grateful or not. Their goals may not mirror our own. Set up a provisional government so they become a puppet. Set up a provisional and play as them, which is something I really need to do one of these days. Or continue the occupation. That loses a bunch of compliance, and then we really have our hands full. Nah, we'll set up the provisional government. Right, and these are only possible if we actually continue the occupation, I guess. Ooh, that's a lot of army experience. Well, I think now is the time to do the rail expansion. Wow, really? Bloody hell, the Quebec are going to town on our industry. Good grief. Yeah, let's do these. Rail networks are the arteries of the nation of Canada, none more so than the state-run Canadian National Railway. Expanding this network can only strengthen the nation. It will surely prove crucial should we need to perform wartime supply and troop transport across the nation. Can you core New England? I don't think so. Oh. My allies are over here in some serious strength. And we also got some free units from the New Englanders. And I know from experience that New England can actually field a surprisingly big army. I remember Shen doing a game as New England. He up and conquered all of America, I think. I'm not surprised. I suspect that that would definitely be possible. We can do the Quebec focus, can we? No, we can't. What we might be able to do are some of the decisions. Oh yes, and we can invite New England to the IDC as well, which we will do. United Baltic Duchy declared war on Estonia, Latvia. For many years, the United Baltic Duchy, set up after the Germans, after their conquest of the former Russian Governorate during the Weltkrieg, has marginalised its native Estonian and Latvian populace. Though the local population has been ruled by local German elites for centuries, the imposition of German ducal structure under the Duke Friedrich and the policies that favour German settlers and undermine the natives, open rebellion has broken out. What about Alaska? We're not even getting problems from Alaska. Doesn't count as occupied. Royal speech was poorly received. A speech made by King Edward during his tour of the Dominion of India ended up in disarray when the king fared poorly against several hecklers in the crowd. He was overheard making some choice comments regarding the rudeness of the hecklers, who turned out to be wounded veterans. A story which has been picked up in many of the British Indian newspapers and resulted in King Edward being painted as a rather unfavourable light. Well, that's not very good. It's not a scandal, at least, but it does ring a rather sour note as the King's British Indian tour begins to wrap up. They actually lost war support. Death of Philip Snowden. Philip Snowden, aged 73, has passed away in his house in Tilford, Surrey. The traitor and the chairman of the Union of Britain's TUC, Snowden has been remembered amongst the royalists as a synonym for treachery. Although the socialists in Britain mourn his death, in Canada his funeral has become a single bright day in a dark period of history. Finland has joined the Reichspakt. Argentina declared war on the Patagonian Workers' Front. Oh, now we can send volunteers. Better late than never. Alright, so how many planes can I send you? 72. Tactical bombers, fighters, or strap bombers. I think what we're going to do is pare you down to 72 planes. Well, no. Let's split you in half. We're going to send 22 fighters. And these two can fly here. Paraguay declared war on Argentina. CNTFAI declared war on Spain. Austrian Empire declared war on Hungary. While Spain declared war on TNTFAI. Alright, the other thing is we have close air support. I should have sent close air support, not attack bombers. That was a mistake. However, Kingdom of Snow, Carlist Spain, we want to support you because I believe you're the ones who can join the Entente. You are. So we want to start a Lend-Lease with you. First of all, I'll send you 50 convoys. I will also send you 40% of my guns, 40% of these, 40% of these. So we're now sending out 80% of our total equipment. The Spanish Civil War. Ever since the defeat of Napoleon, Spain has been plagued by violence, dissent and turmoil. No amount of pleading, deal-making or appeasement has allowed us to do more than paper over the cracks as tensions bubbled. Finally, they have boiled over, and the Spanish kingdom has been ripped apart by a three-sided civil war between the numerous factions, the loyalists of the Madrid government, the supporters of the pretender Javier, and finally the anarcho-syndicalist CNTFAI. When can I send you volunteers? Not yet. I can send you one. Well, that's nice. Nope, wrong one. You, that guy, send air volunteers. Send. Alright, so I can send you, what was it, 60 planes? Yes. So I will need to create, let's go with 20 fighters. And 40 close air support. Alright, good stuff. Oh, that airbase is a little bit oversaturated. So let's go and shift the attack bombers back a little bit. You'd have to be shifted back a long way. Well, thankfully we have tactical bombers, so we can actually reach that. Okay. The Netherlands has traditionally been one of the most politically stable nations in Europe, and the Dutch people have for years been entrenched in their own institutional pillars, which have tended to undermine the radical tendencies. Due to the economic chaos caused by the Netherlands' close ties to Germany and Middle Europa, the rise of the far-left Red Front and the nationalist VNH, the country's political situation is more tense than it has been for years. Insulindia declared war on the Dutch East Indies. Oh, never actually saw which way they went. Social Liberal. I thought that was the one where Wilhelmina resigned. I think it might be. And we've got this civil war over here as well. No, I don't want to help them. Can Insel India join the Entente? Yes. So maybe I do. I think the next nation we want to see is Iceland, the most exciting of all Kaiserreich nations. I've held off of Iceland because I very strongly suspect that that would be quite potentially more boring than the West Indies game. I'm from your YouTube base, and this has been the first time in a long time that I've been able to watch you live. Well, hey, Queen. Welcome to the stream. And Edelweissen, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Alright, so the Pacific States units have now arrived. And we can finally take a look at who we've actually got. We've got Edmund Ironside, we've got Bernie Montgomery, Harry Srera, Auchinleck, Hofmeister, Simmons, Wilson, Fuchs, Wingate, O'Connor, Viart, McNulton, Stewart, Popham, Brooke. Wow, Alan Brooke is way lower level. He's one of the top generals in vanilla. Well, I think that the Field Marshal definitely needs to be Monty. And then the General... I don't have any tank commanders. I mean, Auchinleck is somebody that I'd really like to get some experience. Although, maybe not as a tank commander. He is super defensive. He's very good too. No, he's just a field marshal and the real-life chief of Imperial Staff after Ironsides. Kaiserreich's definitely doing a better job making unique trees than the vanilla team. I don't know, I think the vanilla team have really bucked up their ideas since they've seen what Kaiserreich in particular can do. Like the French vanilla tree is really good. The Portugal one's a bit eh. I mean, it's impressive, but what you can actually do within the confines of a vanilla game is limited. But the French one is good. Genuinely. So is the Dutch one. Brooke was only a corps commander. He got promoted a lot when he was the only senior general that had a very dim view of French high command. Pre-fall of France, so Churchill said that man knows what's going on and everybody else didn't promote him. Gotcha. Hofmeister. Well, who's our best attacker? Simmons, but he's an infantry leader and I'd kind of like to leave him as an infantry leader. Fuchs, maybe. I mean, Ord Wingate, potentially, although he's mostly supply. Actually, I mean, supply on tank commander isn't going to be a bad thing. Viard's actually very defensive. I mean, Viard's going to be Marshall's Marauder commander. I mean, that goes without saying, really. We don't have anyone that's really good at tanks. John Dill, maybe? I mean, I really do feel that Auchinleck should get experience. We're going to be fighting in the mountains. Yeah, we're going to put Auchinleck here. Okay. And then we need to choose what we need you to do. And I feel like we're about to break into the Great Plains up here. So let's do that. And start running circles around people. Syndicalist revolutionaries in Switzerland. Chaotic reports are coming from the small mountain republic of Switzerland, stating that syndicalist revolutionaries have entered the capital of Bern. Switzerland has long had a problem with syndicalist activism in its western French-speaking regions of Haute-Savoie and Romandie, but never have they had a revolutionary forces act so openly against the government. And we really do want to try and grab as much territory for the PSA as early and as quickly as possible. Because the more states that the PSA gets under their command, the more state militias they can raise. And that's just free troops and free manpower. Playing vanilla Spain is weird. It's the generic tree in base game. Not anymore, it's not. That was like the biggest change. Actually, to be fair, the Spanish focus tree is good. The only thing that they could really improve with the Spanish focus tree is the post-war. Like, the through-war stuff is really good. It's a really good and innovative focus tree. There's just nothing to do after it. And here we go. Spy. Seducer, linguist, and escape artist. Patrick Hamilton, I think you're going to be the man for this. And we're going to have you spying on the Federals for the moment, so we can see what's going on. Alright, next Elastic Defense. Let's do this. Alright, and then the car lists have arrived, so you are also going to need a Field Marshal. This can be Edmund Ironside. Yeah, because you've already got Fast Planner and I hate that ability. Yeah, Ironside's for sure. Plus, you've just got a really cool name. I'm not going to lie, Ironside is a cool name. Alright, next attacker. Simmons, just to get you some experience. Because you are very good at attacking. Or we could train somebody up who's actually going to be a tank commander. Because Oshinlek isn't. O'Connor? Richard O'Connor historically was a... Oh no, he's not an attacker. Who'd be Folks? Charles Fuchs. Or Hofmeister. Fuchs. I actually like the fact you got better max planning. You're going to be the tank guy. Guy had an interesting career before World War II as well. Did he? I'm going to need to look him up. Fuchs was a good general. Monty rated him as the best Canadian general of the war. Oh, interesting. Hey, Bjornvar. I'm going to need to look him up.
Ready to move.
Alright, meanwhile, where are we going to be active? I mean, there's a great big freaking gap right here. So, I'm going to say, let's be active right here and see if we can ninja Madrid. Because why not? And yes, please, force march.
Ready, sir.
Thank you. Romania has joined the Belgrade Pact. Pro-Bolivian Confederation declared war on Ecuador.
Yes, sir.
You go ahead and attack stuff.
Man.
Meanwhile, over here, I'll see you over stuff. Greece has joined the Belgrade Pact. Okay, and we got the CN rail expansion, so let's get the CP rail expansion. It was only the promise of a transcontinental rail network that brought the western provinces into the Dominion. Maintaining and expanding this network will help us ensure continued control over the region, and will serve us should we need a large-scale threat between the both seas. I would also like to take a look to see if I can, suppress some more of these guys. I think I'm going to keep on doubling down against the Quebecois in Quebec. 60-60, 40-40. So it looks like we're going to have to do this 3 times in each of them. Ugh. Alright. Particularly annoying because I can't do them at the same time. Ah, but we can do some more crown corporations, which I do like the idea of. We'll do both of them. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Right, you've got orders. You I'm going to micro because it looks like there's going to be more opportunity here. Foundation of the Belgrade Pact. Serbia, Romania and Greece, the three Balkan members of the Entente, all with revanchist views of their own, have recently gathered in a common table of negotiations and announced the beginning of the Belgrade Pact.
Orders.
Let's see if I can cause some problems here. On that note, though, I am going to have to call this stream here. Don't worry, though, I will be back in an hour's time so that we can continue this. And the intention is to do that. Things are really ratcheting up, so I do hope that you will join me for that. That is going to be starting 10 PM this evening for some more Kaiserreich. I'm going to go and raid somebody, and I think that we should probably go and raid Shen. Shen is currently playing RimWorld, which is what I have been playing a lot of myself recently, so I'm very curious to see what he thinks of it. So let's head on over to Shenria. I'd love to see his chat absolutely lit up with Viking Raid, just like that. Oops, I did the full link as opposed to just his name. So yeah, let's go raid Shenria. Just copy and paste Viking Raid, and let's light his channel up and make our presence well and truly known. If you are supporting this playthrough so far, then please do hit that follow button so you get notifications when I'm live again in the future. If you haven't done so already, that would be awesome. If you want to support the channel otherwise, check out the Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/MordredViking, or you can, of course, support me as a Twitch sub here on Twitch. I do have a YouTube channel where you can find a whole bunch of other Kaiserreich content. You can find that at youtube.com/MordredViking. And then finally, the Discord, which you can find here at this link as well. So like I said, I'll be back in 1 hour's time. Just going to go and grab something to eat because I'm getting very hungry, to play some more Kaiserreich with Canada. And then there's going to be another double tomorrow, 5 PM until 2 AM, just as we're doing today. Cool. See you guys later.
Local rat has gone